Here are my 5 favorite features about the AirPods Pro 2. The first feature is actually the reason why I got these, and that's noise cancelling. To break it down for you quickly, you have 3 modes to choose from when you connect your AirPods to your iPhone, and that's transparency, adaptive, and noise cancelling. Transparency lets you hear everything around you as if you weren't wearing any headphones at all. This might seem a bit pointless because if you have your AirPods in, you probably want to listen to something. But the great usage scenario here is when you're, for example, on a train or in some kind of a public area, let's say the gym, and you want to listen to your music, but you still want to be ready for people talking to you. This is exactly the use case when transparency becomes really useful, because you're still listening to whatever you want while still being available for other people to talk to. And noise cancelling, which is my favorite feature, does the absolute opposite of this. It zones you out of everything around you and just lets you listen to the thing that you actually want to listen to. So let's go back to the gym scenario. I find this especially useful when the bar lady at the gym starts playing her favorite trash remix playlist. And let's be honest, nobody really wants to hear the same Spanish song 5 times in a row, so this is where noise cancelling becomes really useful. So when this happens, you just plug in your AirPods and turn on any kind of music that you like. But I have to warn you here, it doesn't really do it perfectly. You still hear some of the Spanish song in the background, but when you turn up your volume loud enough, you pretty much don't hear it anymore. The only time I still hear the Spanish songs is, for example, when I'm listening to any kind of podcast and they don't have any background music or whatsoever. Then I hear all of the voices talking with a little bit of Spanish in the background, which isn't too bad, to be honest. And the one we left out, which sits right in the middle of these two, is adaptive mode. And it does exactly that. It's kind of a mix between these two features for the best part of each. That means when you're, for example, running by the road, you will still hear all of the cars and bicycles around you to be aware of your surroundings. But when it comes to those super annoying bikes that are just way too loud, it will tune them down so it doesn't hurt your ears. Also, if there's, for example, some kind of a construction going on, it will turn down those repetitive sounds also. This might be a bit specific, but I really like to use adaptive mode when I'm in the gym and I don't really want to be interrupted while I'm doing my cardio. Because most of the time when I'm just spinning away at the stationary bike, I like to read a book while I'm doing it because I'm probably there for like 40 minutes, so why not really use the time? So I just switch it to adaptive mode, and when I have a bit of luck that the Spanish remix lady isn't there, then I can just listen to the gym songs going on in the background while I read my book. So adaptive mode has to be my second favorite feature on these AirPods Pro 2. And number 3 takes us back to the gym scenario. Let's say that you're having a leg day, you're listening to your favorite music going on as you're finishing up your squats, and you want someone behind you to just spot you for like 1 to 2 sets. So you can walk up to somebody, and if you have conversational awareness on, then you can just start speaking and all of your music will just dial down to about 5%, so you still can hear it in the background just a tiny little bit, but at the same time it will also switch you to transparency and boost the other person's voice. That means if you're having a conversation, it will be actually easier to hear them when you have your AirPods on compared if you hadn't had them on. I know that some people have a problem with this when you're talking to them and you still have your AirPods on, but I found it way less of an issue in places like the gym where pretty much everyone wears headphones all the time. The brilliant thing about conversational awareness is that it always waits just a little bit more than it should because it wants to make sure that you finish talking and the other person finish talking as well. So when you go away from a conversation, it usually takes about 3 to 5 seconds to return your music back to the volume you had before. And if you were listening to a podcast, it actually stopped the podcast entirely as you were speaking, and it will just unpause the podcast as soon as you stop speaking again. And my last 2 favorite features are actually not the AirPods themselves, but the case that they come into. Because the AirPods Pro 2 have gotten some significant upgrades, not just to the earplugs themselves. So my 4th favorite feature, which is pretty simple, but I just love how freaking fast this charges. If you put in your AirPods and they're completely dead, the case will recharge them back up to full in just 20 minutes. And this will give you 5 hours of extra listening time. And if you ever forget to charge the case entirely, then that takes about an hour to charge fully. And last last but not least, my fifth favorite feature about these is how easy they are to find. Because with pretty much any of these wireless headphones that I had with the past, the most common issue was actually finding the damn things. I don't know if I put them in the gym bag, if I left them somewhere in my room, or completely forgot them in somebody else's house. And we all know that the easiest way to find these is through the Find My app on your iPhone. But the cool thing is that you can find each earbud separately and also the case separately. And all of these three can also play separate sounds to be easily found where the navigation function doesn't really work properly. The speakers on the case itself are actually much louder than you would expect. I remember that I forgot my AirPods about a week ago in my car and I could hear the beeping all the way from my room. Okay, so those were my 5 favorite features about the AirPods Pro 2. If I forgot about anything super important, let me know in the comments below and I will see you in the next one.